best defense. Oh.
Welcome, folks, to some more ECL action. I'm Boggs, and once again, it is Laz. Are you ready, my friend? It's 3 days straight.
Oh, 3 days in a row. We got some more ECL action ahead of us here tonight. We got ourselves a unique matchup, and we've been waiting to see them for quite some time. We finally get to see MIBR versus BHOP Esports, and I'm looking a little bit forward to this one here, Boggs. I know we've been waiting to see the MIBR squad for quite some time now.
Yeah, I got to see MIBR Bad News Bears, there over on Monday, and now we get to see them again. Thought we were going to get them last night against the Bad News Bears, but that one ended up not happening. Still, we do get MIBR again, and they are out of Dallas now, so all their attention can be focused onto Challenger League, where, if we take a peek at those standings, they're not exactly in the best of positions. A 1-2 record right now for MIBR. One was a forfeit, yes. But the loss to Bad News Bears and then the forfeit keeps them rather low. That forfeit was to Strife as well, by the way, folks. That's why Strife is sitting up at the top at 6-1. Playoffs confirmed. And MIBR with one less opportunity to claim a spot there.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting a little bit closer and closer. And the other thing that's a little bit interesting, too, is like you said, both these teams are kind of sitting at that one victory only. And when you talk things about BHOP, I mean, they started off the first week, they played Mythic right away, they had themselves a 2-0 victory, but then they just been on a losing streak, and they've actually been blown out every single time. It's been 2-0s across the board, so they've now gotten that flavor. So now they're looking for a little bit of redemption, as well as MIBR, like you were mentioning.
Yeah, it's a redemption for both of these sides, but for BHOP, they come in here as the underdog. MIBR, the heavy favorites in this matchup. And for BHOP, they're going to have to rely heavily on their new acquisition, CXZI on 6 a lot, I think, to get most of their work done. Beaky and Silas as well are going to have to be those players to carry the brunt of the load. Stan has his moments, but he's not always there, and Spermy tends to be on the quiet side.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, Spermy has been kind of the quietest player on this roster so far. We've seen him be able to do some pretty good things, but I think so far in the season, he's still kind of getting himself adjusted on this roster. There was at one point that he was having the op. He's been kind of removed of that responsibility. We don't typically see him on it very much, so I think there's been some role adjustments, and again, that does take time and the comfortability of the players, but like you said, I mean, there's going to have to be, Silas popping off. We're going to have to see Beaky trying to do something pretty big too, but this is a heavy favorite versus the underdog. So, I mean, this is what makes it interesting to see if BHOP can even pull a bit of an upset.
Yeah, now, I don't know if we're going to have Bit in the server or the other the actual fifth player on the MIBR roster of Branson, but if we do get Bit again, he had a great performance over against the Bad News Bears. It was actually not a weak point for MIBR, despite their loss in the overall series to 2-1. Bit still played very well. He played up to par with the rest of his players, and so even if it is going to be Bit in the server tonight, BHOP will not have a weakness to exploit there. Not to mention, you still have Jota, who's absolutely insane, 87.7 ADR in the last 3 months, and that's counting events like IEM Dallas.
Yeah, the fact that we're seeing, even at an event like Dallas, he's still putting up numbers like that, that's pretty terrifying too. So, I mean, for BHOP, they're going to have to be really prepared. Like we said, I think this MIBR squad has been on a bit of a tear lately. They've been on the trajectory on the upward scale. So, I mean, for them, now they can kind of put their attention back into ECL. Like we said, Dallas has been removed from them, unfortunately, but that means we get to cover a few more games for them. So that's what makes it a little bit exciting too.
And that means we get to see MIBR at full strength, or at least we would assume full strength, ready to try and challenge for a spot in the playoffs, as they are a team favored to make it into Conference League for the next season. But let's look at the maps now, Laz, because this is where we're really going to get into what we're going to have. BHOP banning Dust 2, that's a good ban. 0-2 on it, and 14-8 for MIBR. Might as well get rid of that for BHOP.
Yeah, probably not a bad pick here, getting those bans out of those way. And then, I mean, the first pick, is going to be Inferno. So, yeah, I don't know if I would want to play MIBR on Inferno, but, I mean, this is a higher percent winning map for them. But at the same time, I think when you look over for BHOP, as a roster so far in this season, this is what they've been quite successful with. I think it's actually their highest. It is. It's about a 67% win rate. So it's kind of going against your best map against MIBR's one of the best maps. So this is interesting, and this is a good, we'll call it an interesting pick here from BHOP.
Yeah, it's playing to their strengths, not to their opponent's weaknesses. But knowing how good MIBR are on Inferno, man, I don't know. I don't think it's a good pick. You could go for an Ancient, throw it up there in the air. You've had some decent successes if you are BHOP on the map. Try and take a curveball here. Try and go a little bit weird and take a map off of MIBR. Give yourselves a good start here. It will not be Bit playing as well. We just have that confirmed. It will be Brinzen. So there we are. We get to see him for the first time, at least in ECL. And that'll be good to see how MIBR is with their full 5. But map number 2 is Nuke. And while MIBR might have lost it to the Bad News Bears, BHOP is a completely different story.
Yeah, it just is. And I mean, the thing is too, so we get Inferno for the first map, so MIBR is going to be able to start on that CT side. The second map will be Nuke, of course, which is the pick from MIBR. And like you said, that was an interesting game that went against, the Bad News Bears. But again, it's hard to know. I mean, maybe MIBR had a bit of an off day. B&B maybe just played the full Excel that they could. So there's a lot of question marks there, but the fact that we have overpasses a remainder if we make it to map 3, again, not a high percentage winning map here for BHOP, about a 29 versus 67. So looking a little bit more favorable here for MIBR, and if you're a Brazilian fan, this could be a nice little matchup for you.
Yeah, I favor MIBR on every single map here in this series, in this matchup. Every single one, I gotta pick MIBR to win it. So there's my prediction right there. I mean,
prediction is Brazil.
Yeah. Are you gonna follow suit there? Or are you gonna be contrarian?
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm gonna have to agree. Like, I definitely think in this kind of a matchup, I think MIBR all the way. I mean, just when you look at everything, what they've been doing, how well they've been performing all across, different varieties of tournaments. It's just evident. I think we're seeing that, they're clearly on a good path. Not saying that BHOP isn't, but this is a very big giant to go against right now.
Yeah, it's a giant. David versus Goliath. A Goliath that dropped Carpe Diem as well last night, 2-0 fashion in MIBR. And folks, we will have map number 1 of this one in just a bit, so stick around, stay tuned. We'll see you in a moment.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
And we're live here, folks. Map number 1 between Made in Brazil and BHOP Esports. I'm Boggs, he's Laz. This is North American Season 41 of ESL Challenger League. And MIBR getting a lot of mid-aggression forward. 2 players pushing down towards bench. Exit and Cello being a bit more of support. But Spermie's the one to open it up Now Turtle has traded one back. Burns in the one to fall early. Turtle still holding towards CT. Nets a second kill. Backs away. Takes a dink. But he's buying time for rotations. But the bulk of the rotation are coming through the banana side of things. 2v4 retake. But the bomb goes down. That's not too shabby at all for BHOP.
Oh, and Silas does have this smoke. He's able to find the one. Able to find a second too. So he's able to utilize that smoke. Make it into his own. Against these players, and now it's just going to be a 2-2 back and forth. Exit and Turtle. We'll have to see if he's able to creep on through. Spermy giving up his position. Now they're looking for the banana player, but it's going to be Turtle with a nice little what a bit of a tap, and now it's just down to Silas. Low HP. They can commit this defuse and exit. He's going to be able to pick this up. No kit. Oh, they're giving it up. They don't have time.
Did anybody buy a kit for MIBR?
No, they wouldn't have because they pushed down middle, so they played that aggressive setup where they just had full armor, no utility. So they don't even have the money for the kit. Oh, man, I thought he was just going to have enough time, but when I looked up, I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. You're out.
That's disastrous. That's really bad for MIBR. Not the start they wanted. They're going to force back in here. Turtle with those kills is going to grab an M4 and a vast Deagles on 3. A bit of utility. 3 smokes, 2 nades, no flashes, no kit. An MP9 for exit. 3 MAC-10s over on the BHOP side of things. A Galil and an AK as well. More utility over on the T side, but still, they're going to have to get by the Deagles of Made in Brazil, which are not going to be easy to get by. I mean, these guys are solid on whatever gun they have, as evidenced particularly by Turtle in the last round, hitting those shots despite his low HP. Cello and Beaky exchange nades and go for about even damage.
Yeah, it's a little bit even, but got that one M4 for Turtle. He's feeling it. Got some nasty shots that first round. Flash is coming in now, so they got the mid-bracket control. Brenson's going to be just waiting things out. He's got that Deag. He's got that smoke to block things off for now, but BHOP being very cautious on this. You can even see now they've actually just completely abandoned it. They just left this, and it is a 4-player stack, so they got the right read.
They have the right read, but the time is fleeting quickly, and if this kill goes the way of Made in Brazil, surely they're going to realize this is a fake, as nobody has actually committed off of it. Already, the rotations are going back towards B. They just need a kill or 2 from Cello. Buy some time if he can manage it. The bomb's been spotted. He spams away, does get one. And that will, at the very least, buy time for the rotations to come through. 3 players already here. Boost coming up on Flower Pots. Gets one. It's not going to be anything. A lot of damage, but he cannot stop the plant. Burns and coming through now, clearing out for new box. Stanislaus up close and personal. There is trade potential here, but Stan will not get traded just yet. Silas very low on the other side of the coffin, but he puts Burns in a body bag. 2v2. Exit and Turtle trying to clear up. No kit again for the Brazilian squad. Time is of the essence. Beaky dancing around. New box swings around. Exit will probably just try and save the AK, not get killed on his retreat. Does get one more. That's an exit kill. And Spermy's going to try and make sure this AK doesn't pass into his hands in the next round. Can he escape the explosion? He should be fine. Just barely. Whew. That's living right for exit. Again, MIBR doing a lot of damage, although they weren't able to win that round again because no kit.
Yeah, no kit. But I mean, the thing is too, we got to talk about Beaky. That position that he played on the right hand side of new box like that, just not being exposed. You can see the CTs were clearing it, but he had that perfect angle where he's blocked off in kind of an unusual position to be in, right? You don't typically see somebody there, but he knew that they shouldn't be crossing CT. So the fact that he played it, was able to find that kill, essentially allowed them to win that post punt, in my opinion. And now it's getting a little bit more mayhem happening here. MIBR doing some damage, but Jota down to already 28 HP, and a little bit of frags going back and forth. Exit going to be underneath the balcony. Stanislaw a little bit overstaying his welcome. The nade comes in, doesn't do anything. That's going to be fine. And BHOP now hopping their way towards banana.
Laz, Made in Brazil went for a full buy. They fully bought here. They forced up last round.
And they're doing it again.
Except this one has rifles around it. They're not even caring about utility.
No, I think they just feel like they know that they're, you know, in terms of firepower, they can win this. This is confidence. This is a statement.
It's hyper aggressive, and we'll see if it works out. Turtle spamming away has done a little bit of chip damage, but nothing close to a kill. Bomb going down. Where's the rotation? And more damage onto Silas this time. Silas at 35, Stan at 20. Retake.
Won't happen.
There's no kit. There's no kit.
All right. So for any aspiring Counter-Strike players, please make sure to buy a kit. They are useful. They cut the defuse time, I think, in half, right? I think it's about
literally
half.
in half, yeah. 10
Yeah,
seconds
literally
to
in half.
5.
Okay. Just making sure. All right. And it is a good investment. You know, it's a little pricey. There's been some questions about it, but hey, it's worth it.
And here's a friendly little tip, folks. You don't have to buy a helmet necessarily on the CT side.
Ooh, this is an interesting topic. John and I had this conversation, and we did notice that, you know, there was a few times a couple teams got punished for not having the armor, but
if you
in
have the
theory,
kit, it makes up for it because
it
you
does.
have that on the ground at the very least for somebody to pick up and defuse the bomb.
Very true. Yeah, we'll talk about it on the podcast later. It's fine. Well,
It's soapbox, though, because 3 rounds MIBR could have won if they had a diffuser. This could be a 3-0 score on the other direction for them.
they still don't have one, so well,
Are you serious?
Les Jacobs pulling some kind of a prank on us right now. There is no kits. Right back at it though. Okay, so BHOP get the apartment control. Look at this triple stack that we see in lane. Nice little setup we see from made in Brazil. Leaving it just to the one anchor, going to be Jota, and Cello already taken down to 28. He's been able to take down a lot of damage. And I'm kind of confused. I'm glad Jacobs is whispering in my ear, and it might almost be team damage. We're kind of unsure. There it is. There's Cap able to find one, able to find a second now. BHOP running into a bit of a trap, but they finally get a reply back, exit. He's able to escape this smoke, and he's waiting a little bit more, but peekaboo, there he is. He's able to get 1 kill before his demise. The rotate's coming in now. The only rifle available is for Jota. He's the one player that's going to have to pop off.
Use Cello as bait, but again, no kit. Means that defuses the 10-second long stick. Jota trying to clear up. One on top of cold box. That's going to be Stanislav Beaky around as well. A boost over the smoke. Jota makes noise. Doesn't spot Stan. The spam gives him away, though, and that's going to be an easy 2K there for the in-game leader of BHOP. That's a 4-0 lead for BHOP. They picked this map for a reason, it seems, but again, that caveat, if there were defuse kits for Made in Brazil in the earlier rounds, going to be a completely different story. Burnson picking up the op here over on MIBR. We saw Cello on that back against Bad News Bears on Monday, holding on to the AWP and Bit as well. But it seems Burnson's going to be the one to be on the big green gun. Going in towards apartments. Molotov will keep him at bay. 3 defuse kits here for MIBR. This is good. They have the diffusers. Will give them a much better opportunity. Lots of utility burned already, though, by BHOP, and quite literally burned. But look at the spam damage, the nade damage onto both Jota and Cello, down to 24 and 28 HP respectively. These guys are one-shots. That's great unconfirmed damage.
Yeah, a lot of impact that's being given here for BHOP. Jota's going to get that jump spot, so I believe he spotted these players. Oh, he definitely got it there, so BHOP just waiting things out. And I mean, this is this CT side, this is the strongest point here for MIBR on Inferno. I mean, they have about a 59% win rate on their CT. So the fact that we're seeing BHOP already putting up a 4-0, this is definitely not what we were expecting. It's a thing you love to see,
Not
too.
at all. Yeah, it's definitely coming out of left field. It's been a surprise and a shock and a welcome one. A surprise, but a welcome one to be sure. This is the first full buy for MIBR. They've had rifles in all but 1 round. That was the pistol itself. They've had buys, and they've done a lot of damage. As you can see, the money on BHOP is not great at all, but there comes Burnson. 1 up close now as he has 1 kill. Trying to stay alive. He's bailed out by Exit. Good support from his teammate. Burnson looking everywhere at once, taken down by Silas, who gets a second as the dink will not finish him off. 6Z comes in now, and it's Cello to try and hold the line. Bomb going down in a long rotation for Jota. The 2 B players tagged heavily at the start of the round are the ones who have to close this one out. Silas, 9 HP, 38 for Spermy. It's not that much better over on the BHOP side. 2 shots take a lot longer than 1. No utility for the retake. MIBR have to make their decision quickly. Jota does not clear pit. And that's going to mean Cello's got to save. 5-0 the start for BHOP?
Well. We have ourselves an interesting game here, folks. A 5-0. So BHOP have honestly been able to pick up these rounds, except I would say the pistol round is a bit of a luck of the draw because there was no defuse kits. And I know that's been the theme. I know people are thinking, all right, we get it. But it's important. We've lost 2 rounds now where there was no kits. But either way, we're still seeing BHOP now winning these engagements into these sites. They're looking quite comfortable on the T side, which is kind of where we were going on the criticism here for BHOP against, you know, a prestigious team like this. So this is a good note from them right now, and they've definitely eaten some of their Wheaties.
They've definitely had their monsters today, Laz. Cello will trade back 1. He has the hero rifle in hand now. Looking for a second of 6. He walks through the smoke. Cello doesn't see him. Cello finally spots him out and hits the headshot. 2-for-1 trade towards Banana. MIBR getting a decent bang for their buck. But it's a half buy here for the CT side. That smoke is not going to ward them off. Now Beaky decides to jump on top of the half wall instead and just take an advanced angle. He has the high ground. But is it over, Anakin? 4v3. MIBR have the man advantage. They do not have the firepower, that's for sure.
Well, we got Deagles. Never count them out. But either way, I mean, 3-player stack coming towards the B site. The ball making its advancement. The splash is going to come in. So exit. No! Oh, he peeks too early. Oh, no. Oh, nothing at all. He just goes in dry. A bit of over-aggression, and now BHOP, they capitalize on it again. Now they're going to be able to push on through the smoke's good placement. Cello does some damage. The Deagles, though, the Deagles are starting to sing a little bit here. Stanislaw down to 9 HP in a dream. All he needs, or all he'll get, is 1 shot from a USP, and he's dropped. And look at this, he's playing tree, but he's looking the wrong way. He's about to run into a player, and good night! And we see a first round for Made in Brazil.
It's a hero play from Cello with the M4 towards Banana. The Deagles come in and get the rest of the damage. But Cello really makes that one possible. MIBR have been looking dangerous and deadly this whole time. They finally do get one up on the scoreboard. It's going to be a force now for BHOP. Despite being 5-0 up, they have not had more than maybe 1 round or 2 rounds where they've had more than 2 people survive. For the most part, it's been 1 alive. That's just not good for the CT economy. It doesn't matter which side of the map you're on. That's not healthy. And that's not healthy for Danny as a steady diet of HE grenades. And he's no longer with us in this round. At least it's not the Galil. It's been tagged down to 30 HP in the hands of Beaky. Stan has the AK. But MIBR are turtling up on their sights. And maybe even starting to press down Banana a little bit. Cello. He's walking through. That's going to spur the rotation back through CT spawn. It's a good read here from MIBR, and they're going to hold this line. Hope they get this gift. BHOP are walking into a 4-4 take onto the A side of Inferno, and that is never a fun proposition for the team on attack.
Yeah, they're going right into a stack. Oh no. Molly's come in. Spermy able to get out. Exit though. He's not able to find the kill, but his teammates are able to get them. Turtle in the back of the site takes down the bomb carrier. It's still dropped in the middle. Oh, and there's going to be the second, and there we go. A second round indeed. 1 casualty that will happen against MIBR, but now we're starting to finally see the team we know getting closer and closer to bringing this thing back to an even game. But it's going to be a save round that we'll see from BHOP. But the question will be, Boggs, what do we see with those pistols?
Probably something fast, something loose here from BHOP. No reason to really draw this one out. Do what damage you can. And you know MIBR is not necessarily going to push you. You know they're not going to give anything for... No, don't make me my words, buddy. I didn't want this for dinner. I guess MIBR are going to push down. And they are going to push into him and get him backstabbed because it took too long. Lot looking the other direction. Jota exit. And Burns and all getting kills here. Jota with 2. And that's about as easy for round as you can get. if you are MIBR, guns coming back out for BHOP.
Yeah, pretty swift round that comes in. Danny gonna have the AWP now available. A bit of a quiet game for him too. I mean, he's sitting at 1 and 7, whereas when we kind of look at things on MIBR, everything's pretty well distributed. Even Brenzen's been able to get himself on 7 kills. He's kind of tied for that top spot, second top spot. We'll see what's a little bit different. Some deep mollies on the end of banana, so now that BHOP aren't able to get that control, they can't peel that banana. So they're gonna have to wait things out. Let that banana ripe a bit more.
BHOP slowing it down with the man advantage. They're not going to push too aggressively now. They're just going to see if they can get some overextension from MIBR, which, granted, has been coming pretty consistently. MIBR pushing down towards banana quite often, and Cello even starting to think about it again. Spurring down a little bit. Cello back towards banana, holding his own line. Icky company, ready for the A take. But again, because of the information Cello's gained towards B, MIBR are putting the bulk of their forces on the A site. That's exactly where they're coming through. The Hall's pop is ready. That smoke's going to telegraph it, though. Chimney flash coming in. They're going to go back towards lane instead. They're faking a Hall's pop with 30 seconds to go, and it's not going to make MIBR second guess their decision. Cello just checks it again to make sure. Turtle goes 1 for 1, but exit only 1 kill. Sperm with a nasty headshot, keeping the man advantage for BHOP. The bomb's going to go down. This has to be a save from MIBR. There's almost no way to get back through, especially since Sixy has the op in hand and pit, and the A site retakes. Such a tough site to retake, arguably the hardest in all of Counter-Strike these days. There's no real retake utility either. No flashes, no mollies, no nades, just one smoke.
Just comes down to that utility. Like you said, a difficult site to retake on, but now that Joda's actually getting on the way in the back of apartments, I was going to say he might try to see if he can get a kill, and Cello's still kind of holding a nice spot, but these players are going to exit out. Oh, he's going to swing this. He's going to swing it, and he's able to take down Spermy. He'll get taken out with the explosion of the bomb, but that's fine. I mean, he knew what he was getting into. But a 6-3 scoreline. You know, we were talking a little bit about Spermy too, but you know, let's just focus on that for a second here, Boggs. I mean, he's sitting at 6 and 7. Like you said, he had a nasty shot going into that A site. I mean, he essentially took down that graveyard player, and that, I think that was Cello, if I'm not mistaken, but he was able to just take him out immediately. There was nothing he could do. He went for the peek, and he was just dead within like a second.
Yeah, exit, got his headshot, and got headshot in basically simultaneous fashion. He went up, clicked mouse 1, died. Got his kill. You can't really do anything about that if you're exit. That's just unfortunate right there. Sixy, though, has not had too much luck, and as I say that, I give him 1 kill. He gets the wallbang shot into Burns in 2. Jota swings and only does a little bit of damage. Out comes Stan, and there goes the Opper. Exit again, only good for 1. Cello stranded on B. Gonna go for a bit of a retake, perhaps. He does have some cash, but Burns has none, so Cello maybe exit kills in his future. But now, let's look at that score. 7-3. 7 rounds on the T side of Inferno for BHOP against MIBR. That's a scary proposition for anybody having to go up against this BHOP squad on this map.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the thing for BHOP is they are on a bit of a win streak on this one. I mean, this is, you know, 3 in a row that they've had, like a 16-9 versus Mythic, a 19-16 victory versus UIU, and even a 16-4 versus Limitless. But again, these are all spaced out. So this is an interesting, you know, proposition we're seeing from BHOP. We were kind of questioning about this and going against a strong map for MIBR, but clearly BHOP have done their homework. They seem to be a bit of a step ahead in some of the executes that they're doing. We're just not seeing those trades coming in from the CT side as of yet. Right back to a 3-2, Boggs, and the deep mollies will be commenced. The flash is coming in. The op's actually going to be played out. Joda switching things up now. Flash comes in from 6E. They're going to be able to swing for this, but the CTs, they're not letting go. They're still pushing pressure on this.
They're still pressuring, but they're going back towards A now. Turtle up in porch is going to try and kick him off his lawn. Does get one, and there's some good damage coming through from Burnson as well. Utility chiming in. Stands down in the red. Spermy dancing with death there. Not going to get taken out yet. BHOP with plenty of time on the clock. Look to be audibling it back, at the very least falling away from any initial take. And resetting to go back towards either A or B. 6E lurking out towards B, looking for that aggression, which will not come from Cello, who's very stationary on site. As Jota as the op as well, positioned back towards Pillar. Interesting flash there, but there's been a lot of interesting circumstances throughout this game so far, and we're only on round number 11. Who knows what it's going to be like back in map number 2 or even map number 3 if we get that far. But the utility they have to take B with Les is limited to 1 flash, 1 nade, 1 molly, and 1 smoke. And in comes that utility. The flash doesn't really do anything to get BHOP in, as it's way too early. Time is so far gone. It's 11 seconds on the clock. They're trying to bust in. Cello's got 2. That's the bomb and grill, and that's going to be the round. It doesn't matter if they get both of these kills. It will not work out for them. And 6E's got to stay alive here. Exit up towards top middle. Has an MP9. We'll just cross over, upgrade to an AK. And MIBR 4 on the board now. Still, well, MIBR have had some convincing rounds. It hasn't been convincing overall for them. In fact, a bit concerning in the end. And BHOP are going to call a timeout after that round. I do understand why. That round did not go any way they wanted it to.
Yeah, that's the problem when you run that clock just that low, right? I mean, you have to expect there's going to be some issues that when you go into a site. So when you just go for the execute with, what, like 12 seconds, I think it was, like, you're banking on winning those fights convincingly. And don't get me wrong, like, BHOP have been able to do that so far. At the A site, we see a lot of clean, exchanges that come in through, but that's cutting it a bit too close for me. But nice little side note, too, here, Boggs, and thank you, Jacob, for this as well, is that Brenson's actually playing from Brazil. So this is, a little bit of a buffer, too, when we talk about that for BHOP.
That's some ping there for Burnson, and he's still got 7 kills already. That's not shabby at all. In fact, that's quite solid. Utility exchange towards B, not going to do any real damage. Burnson over towards porch.
Oh.
That's the nade.
Oh, the pin.
That's a meaty nade.
That's all meat.
Oh, yeah. That's an obtuse nade right there. Husky boy.
No carbs, all meat. Ooh, Jota with a beautiful shot, though. Now the flash is coming in to execute. BHOP just going to rush right into this. Oh, they're actually going all the way around. Oh, they're trying to swarm him, but he's able to find another. Can he get himself a second? He will be able to. So now that's the triple kill. Looking for more. BHOP, they've been extinguished. That's going to be the ace, and Jota comes up miraculously to get themselves a 5th round.
For the most part, too, he's just trying not to die there. It's just, all right, I got to take these one at a time because they're rushing me and I only have an op. So he takes his peeks, he gets his kills. They go one by one by one. And as the ants come marching one by one, they fall. They fall. BHOP. Blocks. Use 1 piece of utility. It's a flash. It has to be a 6 on the board for MIBR. Jota still towards B. Cello flashed in, only getting 1. This is now a problem. Jota pistols out. 1, 2, 3. And the nade should help out soften up 6E, who will actually catch the timing on him. Run forward, picks up his op, but he cannot get past Burnson. 6-7 now, as MIBR would like this half in their favor. And considering this started up 5-0 in the favor of BHOP, this would be a great recovery here for MIBR on their CT side.
Well, I guess we found out the secret weapon is just getting Jota ready to go. 14 kills now. He's been activated. They put in the Jota code and starting to get themselves closer and closer to a tie game. But we're going to see BHOP again go for the purchase. No op available here for Danny. Let's go back to a 3-2 split here for MIBR. And BHOP, they might even just try to pop into this. Oh, Turtle, I thought he was going to go for the shot. It looked like he was ready. He was lined up for it. But now BHOP have put themselves in the position where they might just try to go for the bracket control, but CTs are close by. The op still played, just outside of Boiler. Another smoke to block things off. I don't think it's the right smoke, though. Oh, it is going to be fine. It looked like a bit of a one-way at one point. But the triple lane, once again, Boggs.
And they're not going to get past Burns, and at least initially, Beaky trying to get into arches. He's shut down by the Opera of MIBR exit. Tucking away, dodging the flash. Burns has got his back. He'll get 3 playing from home. And 6 of the last one standing, taken out by the Opera. Once again, 4 kills for him now. And it's looking like there's no handicap in terms of the ping. If anything, it's making it fair, because he's still starting to turn up now. Jota started it with the op. Then it's Burns' turn to really light that fire. Was always burning. Now MIBR 1 round away from taking the half victory. The buy here from BHOP is going to be a bit lackluster. Tech 9's on 2, Mac 10's on 2, Galil for Spermy. And a decent amount of utility, all things considered. But Turtle going forward, that's going to be the bomb spot and a kill, and he gets out of there alive. Flash assist comes in from Burns in 2. And MIBR just starting to chip away and pluck all the feathers off BHOP.
Oh, that's such a filthy play that he's able to do. He just goes through it. The molly burns and he just rushes that to just get that information in that kill. No nade going to connect, though. Turtle down to 5 after that engagement, so he will play black and turtle himself up. No pun intended. Now, BHOP getting ready for the mid exec once more. The smoke's coming in, blocking things off. Brendan going to be able to throw that smoke to block it off, but it is going to be Stan, actually. He's creeped up. He's got the Mac 10, so he's going to try to see what he can find in terms of the up-close battle. Smoke going to be blocking off Library. So BHOP have gotten the arch control.
They still have to get by Burns in, who peeks in, does some damage, but it's not enough for kills. Stan's going to upgrade to the AWP and push in towards CT. Still, Jota's not going to peek into him, though. MIBR know that BHOP have kind of just given themselves the position of being meat in a sandwich. Not comfortable to be in for BHOP. They have to make their way onto one of the 2 sites, and time is becoming an enemy. Exit just misses the jump peaks from Beaky. Turtle on site's 5 HP, but if he can get 1 kill or even damage, that's enough. He takes out Stan, and now it's Exit's turn to shine. He's in towards Pit. As that smoke now fades, still trying to delay as much as possible. Let his teammates come through on rotation, swings out wide. Silas down to 3 HP, but in comes Jota, sprays away. And Cello and Jota gonna try and pincer onto the A side. Cello coming in from apartments, peeks out wide. Spermy's in the open, defuse will come through here. And MIBR down 0-5. Down, what was it? Was it 7-2?
Yeah, I think it was about a 7-2 at one point. Yeah, there was a huge lead, and then MIBR were just able to claw their way back. And again, it wasn't like, you know, Jota got the ace right away, but even the 1 round boosted things up, and then he was able to get like what, a triple or a quad right after that as well.
Yep,
so
4.
There you go.
And then Burns got 4 right after that.
Yeah, so I mean, 9 kills in 2 rounds, like, I mean, that's just insane. And I mean, the thing is we saw them play uber aggressive in the very first part of the iteration of the first half, but then it just kind of slowed down. And BHOP, they looked really clean. They looked really smooth on those executes.
Yes, they did, but folks, teams are going to recharge in the halftime break. We'll take a break as well and see you in about 2 minutes.